kind of been on a wonderful soul journey besides being a doctor, right?
Yes, I've been searching for answers about the spiritual life, yes, for many, many years.
Beautiful. And you've found some good ones too.
Yes, pretty much since 2004, I think I found a lot of truth about this spiritual life, and this is a different understanding of how spiritual is, and also through this technology. Before that, we learn a lot of things that we cannot match science and religion and all of that. But now with all the knowledge that we have, we can fit spiritual and science that match.
Yes.
That we can find the matches.
Yes. We're just on an amazing path right now. And I know you had a hospital in Mexico at cosmetic surgery. Is
Yes,
that
I
correct?
practiced for 29 years plastic surgery. I had a hospital in Mexico, but like everyone has to evolve.
Yes. So
And
you have a lot of experience in the medical field. I think that's what's important for us to know about that.
yes, I have a lot of experience in surgery and general surgeon. Um, and as I said, I have all that, but I felt in myself that I had to look for something else. And that's what I understand now about the spiritual life is you have to own something, do something, own it, and go forward. Don't
Yes.
stop yourself.
Yes. Yay.
That's what we have to do. Yes, we own this and do another things, because whatever you have, every knowledge you have, now that we know that we have reincarnations, lives, whatever you own, you bring that. That's why we've seen many geniuses coming. Kids with 3
Yes.
years, 4 years old, that are genius because they own that things in the previous life. They bring it back to this one, to now. So
Yes.
that is my goal, to know something, to own it, and go forward.
Beautiful. So we used to call it a quantum world. Now we're calling it a plasmatic world. And some of us found the teachings of Mr. Keshe, the knowledge seekers workshops and his medical teachings and agricultural teachings and all these great things. How did you get led to the plasma teachings of Mr. Keshe?
The first time I heard about him is in 2013, when a teacher of mine mentioned him. He said that a new technology is coming to be able to heal 100% of diseases. So I was looking for that. This is I found some videos about Mr. Keshe, and it was so incredible. So I decided to become a student, and I've been a student since 2014.
That is amazing. I think those of us who've been here this period of time, I think I came in about 2015, just this amazing amount of information that's spread all the way around the world, and people are putting it into practice around the world. And you are, as a Keshe Foundation student, because I think you're a surgeon, you have this skill with all these details. I remember I got to visit your house and your home and come and actually step into one of the health units that you had made, and I got to see your world where you were building things and how carefully you build, and it's so beautiful. So you have the hands and the ability and the mind to put these pieces together in a really beautiful way. So you've been able to kind of be a leader in the field a little bit in actually building these units, as Mr. Keshe has explained, and putting them together, although many other people are doing it in the world as well. I don't want to negate that at all.
Yes, we're working as a team. Somebody
Yeah.
says, did I invent all that? No, it's part of the Mr. Keshe experiences, knowledge, and we all have to bring it together. Now it's not about, oh, Rodrigo, all this. It's about technology to the world, to humanity.
Yes.
All this, that's what I love about this. This belongs to humanity. We don't have to patent. We don't have to hide anything. We have to do something. I'm excited to build something for humanity. Now
Yes.
that I know all the knowledge that I got as a plastic surgeon, as a beauty and all that, and now with the knowledge of this technology, thanks to Mr. Keshe, something happened in me. So I always say that as a plastic surgeon, I was passionate. I love to do surgeries. I have so much passion. And I found the same passion on this technology. That's what I do all this, because I love it. I like to hear Mr. Keshe, I like to experiment, I like to do that. And that's what I like now. I created, according to the teachings of Mr. Keshe, I keep adding more stuff or changing. But that's not only me, there's a lot of groups within Keshe Foundation, group of doctors that are making all that. And different
Yes.
doctors, even non-doctors, all over the
Yes.
world are making
Absolutely.
this technology. And the beauty of this, we posted on Facebook, we posted on YouTube, and Cash Foundation pages, and everybody can start replicate all that. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs actually to a whole world.
Yes, absolutely. And are some of the medical units are in the blueprints, right? The cashfoundation.org is the Cash Foundation website, and there's a section there if you go down at the bottom and search called blueprints, and there's blueprints of many things there. And so I think some of the health units are in those blueprints.
Yes, he gives us or gave us information, a lot of information. He says you will be able to heal with this. But if he said, do this, it's a first step to be able to heal in the future, nobody's going to do anything.
Right.
But it's a way to teach with this. I love it. I loved it. He said, do this and you will be able to heal everything. Yes, we build it, we heal something.
Yes.
In the steps to understand the whole process, the whole human.
Yes.
Actually, with this technology, I would say that everything that I learned about the body, how the body works in the medical field, I would say 70–80% of that were lies. Now with this technology, I understand more about the process of how the body works, and it makes us easy to address the body and change it. Mr. Keshe said a long time ago, says, the body in the universe, the human body is the easiest machine to work with.
Mm.
Wow. And that time when I heard the first time, I says, no, the body is so difficult to understand, so many stuff. But now the more I understand, the more I learn about this technology, it says, yes, it is easy to deal with the body, because the body now, we understand, it works so different the way we taught. And if doctors open their mind to understand now how the body works, and I prove them when I go lecture, when I give lectures, I prove them. Says, I always start, do not believe everything that I'm gonna say, but at least open your mind to the new technology. And
can you give us just a little tidbit on that of how the body heals differently than we've been traditionally taught?
Yes. Okay. If you allow me to show you some slides,
that would be great.
Photos,
That'd be
will allow people to understand a little bit more. So
perfect.
I'm going to start with this one.
Okay.
This one, it will help us a lot to understand how to deal with the body. And we use the words balance to the body. We don't use healing the body. Beautiful. It's actually the body now understand the body has the capacity to heal itself, to regenerate itself, to repair itself. But we've been bombarding with so much pollution and environment everywhere that it creates so much imbalance in the body, and we lost that. We forgot how to heal itself. I'm sorry if you hear this.
I hear baby.
Yes, I know. It's just time to go to sleep. I'm so
okay.
sorry. So now we understand. So I would say there's 4 ways to bring balance to the body. But also we have to understand this. Physical body, in the physical, we all work on the physical. So doctors, we only work on the physicality. We work as a body has some issues. Okay, if it's a tumor, let's do a surgery. Let's give injections, give us pills, just on the physicality, removing and taking and giving. But we don't heal anything. As a doctors, we don't heal. That's what I like doctors to open their minds. We are not healing as a doctor. We are not healing. We are entertaining the diseases. So it's time to move forward. And a lot of doctors bring in different alternative medicines to help people, and they're having a good results. I'm not saying, oh, this is the best. No, everything is good. But we have to bring it all together to understand how everything works, and we're able to change anything.
Right. And one of Mr. Keshe's fondest sayings that I think fits in here is you need to learn to think beyond the matter state. Exactly.
So the second level of bringing balance is energetic. As a doctors, we think that the only energy that we have is the brain. But this is electrical impulse. It's not, yes, it's an energy, but it's a different one. So we have a different kind of energy. So let me show you. This energy, call them aura, call them whatever you want, because if we start calling aura, oh, this is religion. It has nothing to do with that. There's incredible devices in the world to prove that we have an energy field around us. And I'm amazed that Science have proved that even a rock has energy. And they're amazed. Oh, the rock has energy. Everything has energy. Why don't address or accept that the body as well has energy? And what is important about this energy? Because through this energy, we can understand more about the body. As I said, there's different cameras, different devices that can improve that energy field, and how, according to or the way we change the environment, we can change that energy fields. We have proof that we can change the body. So even there are devices that can see colors, but also are people that can see colors. And I love a person who is who is in the group of doctors in Keshe Foundation is Klaus de Trev. He can see energies. He can, if he sees a photo, he can see the energy of any device, devices, electrical devices, bodies, people, everything. And he has helped us a lot to understand this technology. And I will explain a little bit forward how this skill that he has, and he's teaching people. It's not that, oh, I was born with that. He was taught how to use his own organs, to his own sense to see, be able to see this energy. And he's teaching people to see that. And people are achieving that skills, how to see energy of people, electrical fields, everything. So that is an incredible tool that we're using to understand this technology, plasma technology. So with this, we created different devices.
And so, Dr. Rodrigo, would you say when we say we are an energetic being, are we a plasma being, a plasmatic being? Does plasma and energy interchangeable, or are they two different things?
Yes, we are. We are a plasma unit. And it says, well, people, oh, we are a body. We are cells of bodies. Yes, but as I said, if every rock has an energy, even the body has energy. Every single cell has its own energetic field. Every organ has its own energetic field. When it comes together, it becomes what is. Now when we see the body, we hear so many times, what is above is below, what is outside is inside, but we never understood that statements. But if we, and Mr. Keshe says, if you want to understand the universe, learn a little bit about the body. You won't have to invest so much money. And it's incredible. Once we understand the body, we understand more about the universe. How the universe is kept together, have balance in the universe. How the Earth has balance with the sun and all planets around the solar system is the same way as the body. As I said, the Earth has its own energy as well as every single planet. It's like every organ in the body has its own planet, its energy. But when you get together, you create a galaxy. So the galaxy has its own energy. Even though they have different planets, a different solar system, as well as the body. The body is like a galaxy with the different planets or solar system, which is the organs, the cells, and the body. And that's the way it keeps together. That energy field, call them negative, positive, but actually it's a gravitational and magnetical. Gravitational means attracts energy. Magnetical gives energy. So in order to hold ourselves to something, we have to to send energy to hold ourselves, but also grab energy to have that wholeness to be firm in that state of holding ourselves to something. Like the Earth and Sun, the Earth receive energy from the Sun. Right. The Sun gives is magnetical, and the Earth receive that is gravitational. But also Earth send to Earth in order to hold it, but also is sent to another planet to create a balance. It's the same way as the atom works. The atoms, the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, they work the same way. They're not going around the nucleus and around the core in the elliptical way. It goes in the I would say elliptical, but in zigzag way, because it doesn't have a smooth round pattern or smooth a spherical pattern. It moves in different ways.
So this is an important part of this new understanding of the body. I love it. That's a really nice.
Yes, so it is an energy, and we have proven that through that skin, through the skin and through the organ sense, we receive energy. The body, in order to survive, we, in every single nanosecond, we receive energy through the body. And 80% of the energy the body needs to, in order to survive, comes through the skin and the organ sense. Every 20% of energy comes through the food. And now we're advanced already. This is why if we receive 80%, why we eat? Because on the food and the environment, we don't have some proteins that we need to in order to survive. But now we can change, we can create or change those proteins, solid matter proteins, to energy. Yeah, actually, we feed ourselves, we can create that energy field where we can receive 100% of the energy that the body needs through the skin, through the organs of sense. Yes, but us as humans, we still have the emotional part to chew. We need to chew something. Yes. I myself, I ate once a day for almost 3 years.
Wow.
Just a little bit. Yes, I have a unit that one of the unit has food on the top. So energy food. So I set out myself like 20 minutes inside, and I feel myself. I feel energy. I'm not hungry, but yes, I eat. My wife is a good, beautiful cook, and I love her food. But I don't used to eat that amount of food that I used to eat 3 years or 4 years.
Right.
So I ate a lot less. I can go in a restaurant. I can eat whatever. It's not a dogma. It says, "Oh, you're eating." So what? Yes, everybody can eat whatever they want. It's the only thing that we find is something better to receive, to absorb, and bring balance to our body. Because we have seen that the food, not the whole food, is good. We have a lot of food that is contaminated with different metals, different substance. But more and more people are aware of that and trying to find organic food. But now that we can create energy out of that food, so we feed ourselves.
Right. And many of us, I think, who are around GANS and other plasma tools are experiencing that. We're fed easily by the GANS, and we eat smaller and smaller amounts of food just naturally. And I remember when I was with you and I was there teaching workshops in that area, you gave me some tubes of food GANS that were wonderful. I carried those for a long time. I used to stir, put them in a cup of water that I was drinking, and it's fun.
It's amazing when we have learned this.
Yes.
We can get rid of hunger on the world in days, not years, and days. Really want to do it.
Yes.
So, and the reason why, once you start feeling better when we deal with the GANS, also we have to understand what is the GANS. What is GANS? It's gas and nanosolids state. It's small particles. Nano means small particle. Gas is GANS. Gas is because the elements outside. And understand what elements. So it's a good thing to know. We really don't know how the suns affect us. Even though a lot of people says we cannot live without the sun. How is that? Yes, because the sun helps us to synthesize vitamin D. Really? That small? But actually, through the sun, we receive the main elements. 96% of the body, as I said here, 96% of the body is made of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen. 96%. The 96% of the plants are made of those elements. 96% of animals, every living entity in the world is made of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen. We receive those elements through the sun. They come in, and we receive it through the skin. We attract them. That energy field that we have around the body attracts those elements. So, but the problem is there's a lot of pollution out there. And so we receive that pollution as well. So create imbalance in the body, create diseases. When we start creating the GANS, the carbon, the oxygen, CO2, CS3, all that, those are the same elements. It comes also with amino acids, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. When we are exposed or close to them, we feel that affects us. Oh, I'm starting to feel better. And actually, and that's what we have seen, the people start making GANS, they don't want to go to rest. They don't want to go eat. They don't want to go back to home.
Right.
Not because they don't love it, because they love that energy, because they bring balance to the body. The body starts feeling better.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing here, create a new environment. This is the understanding of how the health unit works. The health unit is not it's only like creating the sun inside of us, inside the house.
Yes, beautiful.
A
Well, let's
pure,
go back to that picture you had of the health units where I think we're excited to hear you tell us what those were about.
okay, this one on the left side, actually, yes, this is the whole unit. Let me show you. I started like this. So this is the blueprints of CAS Foundation. We have how to build this. 6 coil here, 6 coil here, and the helmet.
And the coils are the Magrav coils, basically, but they're made a little bit differently, right? Don't they crisscross with each other?
The connection is different. When you people ask me, are the same? So, but how it works with the Magrav, the way it goes, the energy goes to the first to the gravitational of the small ring, and then gravitational of a bigger ring, and then goes back to the magnetical of a small ring, and then magnetical of the outer ring. That's the way it flows the energy.
Nice.
In the health unit, the energy goes gravitational of a small ring, then magnetical of the small ring, then gravitational of the small ring, and then magnetical of the big ring. So, I mean, it's gravitational small, magnetical small, then gravitational big, magnetical big, and then goes out. That is the way it flows the energy. There's a difference between the coils that we use in the Magrav and the coils that we use in the health unit.
Very good.
And we create the same. I'm going to go back to. I'm sorry. The same little coils for the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So we use it, and also we use those. We see those pens. How this lady is holding this units. This beautiful lady is my mom.
Oh, sweet.
She's incredible. She loved this unit. I built a different one for her in her home, and she loved it. So we've seen that when we have this unit, we have those pens, and most of the people don't understand how this pen works. And actually, the way it works, this, I'm going to explain it. These pens, and we hold them and we put them here on the heart, both of them. So these pens help us to bring energy to the body, or remove energy from the body. Right. When we see these two different coils, this one has capacitors, and this one doesn't have capacitors. What it means that the energy flows from the back to front. And then we have the pens here that help us to drain that energy to the seawater, the container that have seawater on the bottom. Yes. That's the way this kind of devices works. Bring the energy from your back to front and change it, and then deliver that energy, suck that energy out of the body, and send it to being sucked by the seawater that we have in the body, which is a strong gravitational field. So it sucks the body, remove out the body, the energy of the body. But that energy, not all the time we're gonna remove that energy. Sometimes if we want to repair, so if we have a tumor, we want to get rid of that energy. But if we want to repair a heart, a limb, like a joint, something. So we're gonna, even the heart, we're gonna have those energy pens connected. The energy goes from back to front, but then we wanted to go back to the part that we want to heal to increase that energy. But also, if we have something if we have something in the heart, here we're gonna add something extra. So we're gonna add, let me put a different patch. Here, if we have a problem with the heart, we're gonna put a patch here. A patch also as well. So with a specific GANS that the heart needs. So we're using the health unit to create energy field around this, to push the energy through here and bring the elements that the heart needs. But also with the pens, we increase that energy. We put it back, those pens here, so increases that energy to the heart. It'll help us to heal that part of the body.
Nice.
If we have a cancer, So instead of putting the GANS the pen, we're going to put it connected to the cell water. So we're going to extract that energy out of the body.
Nice.
But the unit creates an environment that gives the elements, the main elements, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen to the body. There's 96% of the elements. So the body starts responding. If we have a disease, some people say, oh, I have a disease, I have tumor. What patches I would use? You have to use the whole unit plus the patches. The patches only target a specific part of the body. But also, if somebody has a disease, it means that it has an imbalance in the whole body. So we have to bring balance to the body in order to respond to a specific part of the body. So
Nice.
we build patches on that area to make the specific change in that spot of the body.
So can we call these Magrav Health Unit, or you call it the health unit with coils? Can we call it a Magrav Health Unit, or you just call it health unit with coils?
Well, actually, if you see in the first photo here,
you actually have a Magrav on the floor in that one, right?
Yes, one of the teachers that Mr. Keshe taught us, it says, if you put 4 Magravs, here's 1, there's 2, the other one 3 and 4. Nice. Just thought, and even he mentioned this last Thursday, this Magrav as well. If you put a 4 Magrav, either in the square shape here, 1 at every single angle, or even 2 here, I mean, you will want to create 1 here and 1 here, and then 1 here and another here. You can play with that energy, with understanding the GANS, understanding what kind of GANS we're going to use, what kind of energy the body needs. So I just, if I use those Magrav without the health unit, I feel the energy. It's incredible. I sit down myself in the middle and I feel the energy surround me. So I create an environment.
Right.
So I decide to put it around this unit, called health unit, and increases the energy around that health unit.
And Mr. Keshe has explained to me, so those Magravs are plugged in, right?
Yes, only the Magrav, but not the unit. The unit has nothing to do with electricity.
Right. And so the Magravs, he has explained to me, in comparison to some of these newer units, are dealing with sort of the electrical energy in the physical. They're like the interface for the physical realm with the plasma. So yeah, that's what I thought, that just the units themselves were the Magravs were plugged in, but not the health unit.
Yes, so it changed the electricity to plasma, creates a stronger feel inside here.
Nice.
So that's what I decided to put it. And it's a different, it feels a different with or without the Magrav. But without the Magrav, this unit, it creates its energy and it's forever. You step inside and it feels the energy. It's incredible. The energy, constantly you feel the energy. It's not connected to anything. How is that possible? This is the beauty of this technology, to understand this technology.
How does it feel to you to have been around this technology so much? You look very vital to me. I mean, I think the last time I saw you was probably 2 years ago, and in person, and you just look very, very vital.
Because I've been involved in this technology, even how I've seen, I had in the house, people who come visit us, family comes to visit us and says, oh, I have problems to sleep. When they come home, they sleep like a baby. It's a feel. I create a feel, that energy field plasma in my house. So yes. I'm feeding myself through that field of energy that I have in my body with pure elements.
Right.
And Mr. Keshe said, we are working on that. He says, once you understand the plasma, people on Earth won't die in 100 years, in 200 years. We'll be with thousands of 2,000 years. So we're working, and that is the key to understand the elements that the body is made. The example that I give them, if you have a car, it runs with gasoline. Would you put diesel? No.
No.
Okay, if your body is not made of, it doesn't have aluminum, lead, mercury, why do you put those elements on your body?
Right.
So if you have the car, instead of using not even diesel, you put gasoline, but you put poor quality of gasoline. The car doesn't run perfectly. So if you keep putting that gasoline, eventually you're going to have to change the motor, the transmission, something. because it's not running well, because the elements that the car needs are not proper, or not pure, not well, not
right. Not
so
appropriate.
it's the same as the body.
Yeah.
We're receiving so much pollution in the environment, the food, everything. So that's why the body's in decay.
Right.
So if we're starting to give them the elements that the body needs, pure, beautiful, the body won't age the way we're aging right now.
And we're
You see,
talking about giving it to the body in a nano or plasmatic state, right?
just create an energy.
Creating an
If you,
energy field.
if you heard that the teacher last night, last Thursday, he says, once you create layers of those GANs, you put a container in the middle. It will attract those energy in the container, and you will collect those, and that container, all those energies.
Right.
So that is the one you're going to use. You don't have to use any electrical power. You don't have to use dynamic reactors. Just collect that energy inside that, and you can do whatever you want. We use it for teletransportation. We use it, as I said, to envelope something, to put them in something and send it somewhere. Also, to create a stronger field that will change the body instantly, your body.
Yes.
Body will stop aging the way we are aging right now.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So tell me the next picture here, just to the right of your piece of equipment that's showing
Okay,
the
this
energy.
one, these photos was made, or thanks to Claudia Tripp. This is a kind of energy that creates this health unit, like a toroid energy field.
Beautiful.
That's the way. And so when I built, when he said one, Mr. Keshe said, if you're able to create two tubes with two different GANs, you will create a different energy. So I made up this one.
Right.
Plastic tube with one tube inside the other and different GANs inside the other. So one inside tube has different GANs, and the other tube is one is a zinc, the other is CO2. But now we can make any mix that we want. This is the first step on understanding the plasma energy.
Right.
And we step on inside and create with this one, creates a vortex.
Okay.
And that vortex and energy, whatever energy has to be extracted from the body, it will
it creates movement, right?
It creates a vortex, but also the energy goes through to Gaia, to Earth.
Oh, nice.
To Earth. So then, not just the photo of the coils that we use for the helmet. This is my first helmet, and we can use it only for health problems. Put a chair and hanging that helmet.
And are those? I know. Didn't you get zinc for the head coil?
These coils are made of. The first one I made, they were out of copper, and then I found a company who can make the zinc. So I make every single coil with zinc wires, and embedded with zinc GANs. So we're using that.
And then you nano-coated the zinc coils as well?
Yes, I nano-coated the zinc coils and increases energy. Now, if you see the new one, this one is a box. Instead of helmet, it's a box with different coils. And once you put yourself inside that, you feel a lot of energy in your head. So different ones. So first I make this one with the rings with different mix of GANs, and then I have an idea to put dynamic reactors on that too.
So dynamic reactors are the spinning balls, correct?
They are the spinning balls. You put different GANs in this, and you create whatever you want inside.
How did that feel or work? Or
it's increasing the energy, but also this one, when I built this one, I put here, if I had a person with, let me see, a person, it was here inside. With, let's see, a heart problem. So we use these reactors with a specific GANs for the heart. This one. So instead of using patches.
Right.
So we
what would you call a GANs for the heart?
There's different ones. You use CO2, you use zinc, CH3. If you have a problems in the muscle, you can use copper oxide. You can use magnesium. You can, if it has a clot problems, you can use blood out of hemoglobin out of CO2 GANS. So you can create anything you want. You can dissolve anything.
Right. So what do you feel the spinning balls do? We call those plasma generators, right? The spinning balls.
It's, I won't say plasma generators. I would say increase energetic fields as devices that will increase that energy field, because the energy is inside the GANs, regardless of we're spinning or not. There are energy there. That's why we use the rings. We put water inside out of the plasma. You feel the energy inside. We're not spinning, but you feel the energy. But when you start spinning, you increase that energy field, help to expand that field. And even though I'm going to show you different different units, and I'm working on I call them my kids. This is my second baby.
Cute.
The first one was my coil, and he grew to make it whole square, all that. At the beginning, 6 and 6, and then I built it also. My little kid grow. Then when I build the ring units, my second baby, it grows to put the GANs. And a lot of people start making different ones to put a chair inside or whatever. And so I create a different design in order to move this to lift the rings. And also I made this one with the star formation, because here the rings with 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Nice.
So the star formation.
For spinning balls.
Dynamic reactors. When I start using reactors, I always use Magrav. Always.
Okay.
I myself. So this one is dynamic reactors in a star formation plus the ring. So it creates a different energy. As we said, we have to test everything.
Oh, so do you plug your dynamic reactors into the plug with the Magravs?
Yes. All the time. When I use a dynamic reactors, I use the Magrav.
Very good.
Always. I don't plug them straight to the plug of the electrical plug. I use the Magrav before that.
Excellent.
So we create a different field, different energy. So we had to test everything. I don't want people to see, okay, somebody asked me, okay, I'm going to make those rings, and that's it. You have to do everything to understand. That's what I said. You have to own something. One of the questions is, what is the spiritual life? What is it? How can we live as a spiritual beings? Is make known the unknown.
Right.
And
beautiful.
This is make known the unknown and own it.
Yes.
Own that unknown. So we create a different, play with the plasma energy, different fields, different ways of creating, and understand that. So once you do something you understand, you can teach people. You can evolve yourself to understand this in order to find the solution for all diseases. But we have to go step by step, not just repeating. If we repeat it just because somebody made this and I'm going to repeat the same, and I'm going to pull the people inside without understanding, they're not going to achieve anything.
Right.
You have to understand that. You just create an energy field. As you said, there's 4 steps to heal a person. First, the physicality. We'll explain how. Then the energetic. We can use different energetic fields, different ones to deal with this, to bring balance to the body. We're dealing with the emotions. The 3rd level is emotion, and the 4th is the soul. The soul, medical field doesn't accept soul. If you start talking about the soul, oh, that's religion. Don't talk about it. Okay.
Right.
So even emotions, they don't call emotion, they call stress. What is stress? Stress means nothing. even for doctors, I'm a doctor, so I can speak about this. It's a doctor because one of the lectures says, you have no rights to say that about medical field. How come it's 35 years of doctors? I have all the rights to say anything I want.
Right.
If I have an experience, it didn't work because it's not true. It's not the way it works. So stress means nothing. If we do, as a doctors, if somebody has stress, means hyperactivity of the brain or the body. So I have to calm down. We have to shut down the brain. It's not true. We have learned now, and there's incredible doctors or people around the world who works on emotions, and they have incredible changes on people. Because if we see the brain, outside of the brain, we have the cortex, which is control the physicality. The midbrain, we said, oh, the midbrain is autonomous. But now we understand more that every part of the midbrain controls some of the organs through emotions. The soul in the center have emotions in this life to change the physicality. That's simple as this.
Yes.
You come to this body to have experiences. Through emotion, you have experience, you have to change the physicality. Now we have seen that the specific emotions target a specific organ, and that organ created different diseases. So now we understand those diseases because emotions are involved in that disease.
Absolutely.
But also another thing, a lot of people who start working on emotion level, they work with them, they extract that energy, but they absorb that energy, and they end up having that disease.
Right.
So because they haven't understood completely that level of working on the emotions.
So do you go back to the CO2 and the zinc GANS to help clean up?
No, you have to work in the 4 level, which is the soul. When you work as a soul, you ask your soul to make contact with the soul of the body. You ask permission to the soul, to the person who has owned that soul, to work on the soul. You interact with that soul, you extract that energy of the body, but it says in the soul level, it won't harm you. The soul will extract that energy out of the body and will land it, or will, I would say, extract from you, send it to earth, and you just collect the experience.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That's a different level. So we understand in the 4 levels of changing the body, of healing, or bringing balance to the body. If we don't do that, as I said, so we have to work only in the soul. I always said I'll work on the 4 levels all the time. I work on the physicality. In order to change the physicality, I use different GANs, different patches. I work in energetic as well to create a health unit. I work in emotions to use some GANs to work in emotions. What is the main element of the brain? The main element to control the emotions is zinc. So you have zinc. Yes, this is the way it works. We have emotion problems. We're dealing with, through that emotion, we're changing the physicality. But if we deal with the emotion, we understand, or we learn how to deal with those emotions will not affect my body. So the zinc is an element that helps us to deal with emotions. People say, yes, I have that emotion problem, but it doesn't bother me anymore. That is working.
Beautiful.
So it's not affecting anymore that emotions, whatever emotion has. I've seen people with Alzheimer. Alzheimer, yes, we have heard that viruses can affect some of the brain, but also why this is being affected, why we create a specific attraction for something, for viruses, for environment,
right,
to a specific part of the brain to create Alzheimer. Also, it's an emotions problem. Emotion create a change of that field, so it attracts that elements. So the emotion part of the people with Alzheimer is people that used to live in one country, one house, and the children says, okay, it's ordered to move on to a different country, to a different house. It's a different environment. And the mother, or most of the people are old people, they're struggling to the new world, the new place, even though they might be more beautiful, but they miss the other. They miss the friends, they miss the plants, they miss the environment. And they, little by little, they start disconnecting themselves to the present, because they're only thinking in the past. That's why we've seen people with Alzheimer's, they only talk about the past, not the present, because they're disconnecting themselves. Is the emotion part of the soul is connecting to the physicality, which is the brain cells. And the emotions control all the body. So emotionally, I'm disconnecting myself to the present. So I'm start to shutting down the present. So some cells starting to die. That's
Mm,
what we see MRI of the patient with Alzheimer's. We see a black spot, a big black spot. So it means
mm,
that brain tissue is dying.
mm.
But it's incredible when we start using this technology. We're giving zinc to these people to deal with emotions and create a different environment. They start responding.
That's beautiful.
Responding, and if we take an MRI 6 months later, we see that those black spots are smaller. How come? According to the medicine, brain tissue cannot regrow. But we've
Right,
proven the opposite, that
right.
it's growing. The brain tissue can grow anything in the body can grow. If you give them the elements they need, they can grow anything. So,
Beautiful. Dr. Rodrigo, do you have another? Your energy and enthusiasm is fantastic, and this is what happens, when we're around the GANs, the plasma, these plasma fields. We begin accelerating our intelligence, our capability of communicating, and you're just really demonstrating that, and it's beautiful. And I think people will have to listen to catch what you're saying, but there are a million gold nuggets in what you just said. Very fantastic.
I would say starting to know the truth. And you want freedom to humanity given knowledge.
Yes.
And they will know something. If you don't know anything, they cannot speak of anything. When you
Yes.
have knowledge, you can speak about that knowledge. So this one is a different unit, a single unit. You can use a hand, you can use an elbow, you can use for a knee problems. It's a single one. It's a different
Lovely.
one. Based on the Keshe teaching, the first one who created this was Renan from
Yep.
from
Philippines.
Philippines. He's the
Yep.
one who first who created this unit. So even the first unit that I built with coils, the first one who built it was Renan from Philippines.
Beautiful.
Then I make the rings and all that. No, so this is a pet's ring unit.
Oh, that's so
After
awesome.
surgery, I made this one for a friend of mine. Is a veterinarian. And he use it for pets when they have surgeries and something. Just put them inside, and they're well. They're recovering. Even they like to be inside. They
Beautiful.
like to sleep inside. They like to be around that plasma energy.
Beautiful.
So it's for everybody. And as I said, so we can create a different energy fields. With this one, with the stronger on the top, weaker on the bottom, we create a flow of energy.
Gorgeous.
It's a vortex, but also you can direct that flow of energy from the top, from the bottom. So you can change different one. Copper oxide on the top, CH3 on the bottom to make it stronger feel on the top, weaker feel on the bottom. So you create a stronger feel. That vortex becomes a little stronger, and you feel a little stronger feel.
So when you put your GANs in the tubes, are you shaking the GANs and putting all of it in there, or just the water?
At the beginning, I start using plasma liquid. Then I start adding GANs inside, and then after that, I build this one. Based on the star formation, you have star formation 3 on the bottom, 1 on the top. So instead of putting 4 on the top, I create a column, 3 columns. And I test this many ways. I put the different kinds of GANs and different ways on at the beginning. I put strongest on the top, then the second weaker on the second, was from the stronger to the weakest to the bottom. So first, and then I change it. Now I change it. I put 1 stronger in the back, a medium on the side, and the weakest on the other side. So it goes inside your body, you feel body. And now I'm start adding potassium, magnesium, calcium in the same bowls, in the same dynamic reactors.
Nice.
In the different fields, I have to see the effects on that better. And I
Now,
have
do you have double balls or single balls?
this is okay. It's double balls, but the inner balls doesn't have anything. It's empty. Why? When you rotate those dynamic reactors, you will see like a cylinder, empty cylinder in the middle. That is collecting that energy in the middle of the core, in the middle of that ball. So it's stronger field. And when you turn it off, that field disappears because that's no longer supporting that energy inside. When you put an empty ball inside, you start rotating those dynamic reactors, that field starting collected inside. Remember as well, the last teaching, Mr. Keshe, last Thursday, he said, once you have a layers of GANs, a different ones, you collect that energy in the middle. So you have a container, you collect, and that is permanent. When I have this empty ball inside, and I start spinning the balls, you feel the energy. But when you turn off those spinning balls, you still feel and a little bit stronger that feel energy inside, even with the dynamic reactors off.
Interesting.
Because
Can
they
I,
were collected, it collected that energy inside the empty bowl, and you still feel the energy. So I ask people, stay inside 20 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes with the motors off. You still feel the energy, even sometimes a little stronger.
Beautiful. Can I ask you a couple of quick technical questions?
Yes.
One is, again, how you're mixing the GANS that goes inside, how you get the 50%. What does it tell? What combination of GANS and plasma water are you using? And then how do you know what are you doing 50% of?
Yes, understanding how the body is made of. If you see the first light and what I put, how much carbon, how much hydrogen, how
Right.
much nitrogen, you have an idea how to deal with those proportions inside the body.
Oh, nice.
So what I suggest to people to start looking or to start learning is to go on Wikipedia, books, anywhere to learn every single 25 elements that we made up.
Right.
Those 25, study those elements. You will understand how much proportion, how much of that elements we need for the specific part of the body. But you have to learn those. First, the first step, instead of for us, when I went to the medical school, the second grade of medical school, of 7 years, they asked, we have to memorize books and books of pharmaceuticals. Memorize it, all of it, and learn all the strong, and that's very difficult names or not to memorize of any medication. Now I said, you have to memorize or understand 25 elements.
Right.
Study those 25
Not
elements,
difficult.
and you will understand what to do in an organ.
So
Those elements you will
say we wanted to make a GANS out of each element individually or the 25 elements. Would you do it by using caustic first and then rinsing that and taking the solids and putting it in a CO2 GANS?
At the beginning, we used to do that, but if you use caustic, you eventually it will remain some of the caustic inside.
Right,
Like,
that's what I
we
thought.
started to make food. We chop the food, or we have a dry food. We put them on caustic for a few days, 6 days. Then we wash off the caustic and we put the still water. I mean CO2 water. But we still have that caustic inside. So even with Mr. Keshe, and one of the teachings with Mr. Keshe is remove the caustic. If you use only CO2 plasma water, you will have the plasma of that food.
Okay.
So even if you want to say, okay, I want to have potassium, get a good source of potassium pills, a good source.
And then add it to your CO2 generator.
Smash it, make a powder, and then CO2 water. 7 days later, you have GANS of potassium.
Okay. And food, you would still do food the way with caustic, or you would do it straight into GANS?
Just add, once you smash it, you add, I use two things. Add CO2 plasma water, but we have found that in a month or 2 months, it's starting to mold inside. So fungus, to create fungus inside. So what I do is I add CO2 water, and I add, depending the amount I use, some milliliters of copper oxide, and we'll avoid that when you start using, not afterwards.
Okay.
So when you put the CO2 water, add copper oxide, and you will avoid that fungus production.
And when you're adding copper oxide, are you adding that as a GANS, or you're adding it as a, that's a matter state?
You can put a little bit GANS and plasma. Yes, you can add it a little bit GANS. Yes.
Okay. But the copper oxide is it nano-coated copper? Is it the scrape?
No, GANS, GANS.
Oh, GANS, the CO.
GANS of copper oxide. Is when you use nano-coated copper plate and not nano-coated copper plate.
Got it. Okay.
So you create that either red or sometimes brown, or the good one is the Turkish color.
Okay.
Green, blue color, beautiful. That's the copper oxide.
Okay.
You use that little bit inside that.
Keeps it from fungus.
It keeps it away from bacteria and fungus.
Okay, and then another question technically, for instance, here where we live, we're able to pick up fans. I have a fan, I have a spinning ball unit made by Keshe, Arizona, which has the little ball inside. It has the really neat little motor with the dial and all of that. But we can go to a guy who tears apart computers and televisions, and we get fans from him. And I'm not sure what RPMs those are, but we can affix a ping pong ball on top of that. And they seem to work really well. We've been using them in our house off and on. We're experimenting. Sometimes we just feel the need to turn them off because it's kind of a big field to be in. But any suggestions on if we maybe have less resources, how to construct the spinning ball in a way that is effective?
This is a beauty to understand all this plasma unit, because you can use anything,
Okay.
going anywhere and create it. I would say
Yes.
yes. You mentioned the fan from the computer. Use a fan on computer and then get up a ping pong ball and fill
Yes.
it up with GANS inside. That's
Yeah.
easy. Don't have to
Okay.
be very fancy or beautiful.
Okay.
People who have the chance to buy them, those reactors, go ahead. That's good. But the
Yes.
same effect we'll have with the fans of the computer with the ping pong ball. Fill it up with
Beautiful.
GANS. The same effects. No one is going to be stronger or weaker. It's the same effect.
Beautiful. This is maybe a random question, but any idea about using magnets with these plasma systems, or do you think that's unnecessary?
Ah,
Is that silliness?
no, actually, this is a part of my new health unit that I'm building
Oh,
using.
wow.
But even that, not that you mentioned magnet, there's a
Magnetotherapy, right? Yes.
magnetic therapy.
Yes.
Also, that one. Understand a little bit more. As I said, people who works on emotions, they'll help people to get rid of the diseases, but they absorb that energy and they end up with the disease. Okay, people will use magnets. They said, oh, it creates a magnetic. It deals with the magnetic field of the body. The way I understand now, if we have an energy field around our body attracting elements, how we attract those elements, see in a bigger pictures. We live on the surface of Earth. Inside the Earth, it has a magnet. The sun has another magnet.
Right.
In between, creates that light, the sun, we call them sun, and bring those elements. So the magnetic field of the sun, the magnetic field of that magnet, we'll call it magnet, of the Earth and the sun, and creates those GANs. And because you are in between, you absorb those elements.
Right.
So pulling the magnet of the Earth, pulling those elements, and you are in between, you absorb those elements. So that's what I want. I'm creating that magnets. So when people use magnets and put on the body, says, oh, it feels great. Why it feels great? Because when you put a magnet, it's like that dealing with that magnet in the body with the magnet of the Earth. And whatever is in the middle, which is the energy field of the person, and is attracting that energy, those elements, you help them to absorb those elements stronger in that spot. That's why I feel, oh, that spot feels better. When you put the magnet in certain spot of my body, it feels great. I'm dealing with this in this disease or whatever. They feel better because they're helping to absorb those elements, the carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen from the environment. They feel that they increases that energy absorption in that spot.
Nice.
So this is for the people who works with the magnetics. It's beautiful. Keep working on that. It's good. But if we start using patches, put the patches on the skin and then the magnet on top, you will see better results.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it.
So I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying it's a little bit more to do the things better.
Right.
It's understanding this technology so we can help each other.
Yes.
I'm not saying, oh, I'm better. No, it's not. I'm not better. Anybody. We have to share this information for whatever we have, we improve that.
Yes.
And we have better results.
Any more units to show us, or are we?
Yes. Oh, once we have time?
Yes, we have time. And any stories you can tell us of wellness that you've seen occur, if you have any little snippets, those are always fun to hear.
Yes. As Alzheimer, that I mentioned first.
The Alzheimer's, that was great. Yes.
Yes, I have. I'm going to show you the unit. This is a unit that I use for people with Alzheimer. And this one I use, as you see on the right side, it has calcium, magnesium, potassium, folic acid, omega-3.
Beautiful.
So if we understand how the brain works, what's the main elements that the body needs in order to work? If we have any brain damage, you can give them to people pills, tablets of calcium, potassium, folic acid, magnesium, and omega-3. But if you use this as fields, it will penetrate that. It will reach that spot that the brain needs in order to deal with that.
Brilliant. So you're putting those in a plasma ball and spinning it.
Yes, I put them here. Then I use...
You're putting the GANs of those items there.
GANS here, of that, and here.
Beautiful.
I use on the top, this one is a little red because it's food, but I use zinc on the top and CH3 on the bottom. I started to use plasma, only liquid, but now I use pretty much GANs. Even sometimes I use dry GANs I put inside. It's incredible feel they use. So,
you put the dry GANs in, and so there's nothing liquid in the ball spinning?
And it feels so strong, beautiful. Yes.
I bet it stays balanced better. We have trouble with that a little bit.
So you can add, it doesn't matter if you have to add calcium, magnesium, you have to add a little bit of water. So I have two main patients of, the first one who has Alzheimer's was, having 5 years with Alzheimer's, but the last 9 months was lying down with a nasal gastric tube in order to feed her. She wasn't able to blink, so they had to use some drops on the eyes in order to help them to keep that healthy. So we started to use this technology, and actually the first time why I started to work on this lady, because I gave, there was a lady who was taking care of this person, so I gave him patches of zinc. So she put the patches of zinc outside of the glass water, and she gave the water to the person. And an hour later, she started talking, just with the water of zinc plasma. She was 9 months, not signed, not even a word, not blinking, nothing. So after that, they encouraged us to do more. So we used that, and in 3 months, this lady, the next time I saw her, she was watching TV, eating by herself, steak, cutting, talking, recovering for all this. And then I have another one who has 5 years in coma. There's a lady from Florida who is in coma, and the man says, I love my wife, I'm not giving up. I will do anything for her. So he asked me if I can make one of this machine for her. So I build it, I send them to him, and she started using. And she had a tracheostomy. She has to breathe through the tube and connect it to the machine, and it has a tube in the stomach, outside in the abdomen area. So, but she was in coma, no sign of life. She had 5 years. So we use a machine. She find a way to put her in a wheelchair and put him inside. And six weeks afterwards, I was with Mr. Keshe in a meeting with Mr. Keshe, and the phone rang. So I saw his name. So what happened? I asked, I called his name. He says, "You start crying. This is what's going on." My wife opened her eyes and started moving. And she's doing great now. She's moving. She helped him to sit down and responding to him with the blinking, being using for 6 months. It takes 5 years in coma. I mean, you start responding. And the most beautiful one that I just had 2 weeks ago, I was called for a lady who had has 2 daughters, one 17, which is healthy, and one 15 years old. Since she was 3 years old, she had a car accident. And she had brain damage, and she ended up with seizures. She has seizures 1 or 2 times a week since she was 3. She's 15.
Wow.
And she has vertigo. And if she has 2 episodes of vertigo, 2 episodes of seizures on a week, one of them will stop paralyzing the body. And they're using everything. They went to the best neurologists. Nobody can do anything. They travel different part of the world to help this beautiful lady. If she's not having the seizures, she's a normal lady. She's normal, but suddenly she starts having the seizures. So she cannot go anywhere without being aware of all the people around them in order to help her. So she asked me if I can use this unit, and I said, we understand this technology, it will help you, but don't believe me, just test it. it's not going to harm her. So start
Beautiful.
using the sister. I mean, they were a little rejected to use it again. Another thing. So okay, so start using it, and I installed that unit in their home. They start using it, and she called me 2 weeks ago, and she said, "Can you come home?" Yep, no problems. What's going on? Oh, we have problems with the unit. When I go inside, everybody was happy. This is what's going on. My daughter, since she started using this machine, in 2.5 months, she hasn't had any episode of seizures, the vertigo, nothing. Actually, it's the first 2.5 months of normal life.
Wow.
Normal life. I was amazed. This is when I said, Mr. Keshe, you are incredible. You are an incredible being to bring us this technology and be able to spread this technology, this knowledge to all the people. So it's
Yes.
not me, it's not the unit. This is thanks to Mr. Keshe. He decided to give this knowledge to us.
Yes.
I was so grateful of him and all this knowledge and having this result. And this, I would say, in 6 months, this lady is going to be as normal as anybody. No, she's not going to need anything, not even this device. Because
Beautiful.
we've seen that recovery of brain tissue, whatever condition they have, this recovery, they're recovering.
That is fantastic. It really is. This is the science of the future being brought to us now. And I just honor every person that's working on integrating it in various ways. So what
And
is the
this,
one on the left there?
and the left is the bottom part,
Okay.
this part.
Oh,
So,
gotcha. Okay.
and it has a Magrav.
Oh,
As I
so
said,
those are
I always put a Magrav.
close-ups of the bottom and close-ups of what's on the arms. Beautiful.
Yes. So, and this one great. And the way we see this one is, if we learn a little bit of sacred geometry, you deal with this is 4 reactors. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the brain, the 4th. You deal with
Mm.
emotions. For deal with the physicality, you have to have 4 reactors. 1, 2, 3, and the heart. 4 reactors.
Nice. Beautiful.
So people here, they say, okay, I'm standing here. And this one has 19 reactors. A lot of people feel stronger than feel in this one.
Mm. Why do you think?
It's a sacred geometry. It's more specific condition.
And the simplicity is amazing.
It doesn't have to be so huge. So yes, I built this. As I said, I experiment everything. I had to do everything to experiment.
Right. So that's
So
really good for people to know that
you don't have to do
simple,
this. Now I say
yeah,
people, you don't have to do this.
right.
Make this one.
So there's nothing in the tubes, right? Those are just
No,
PVC pipe.
I nanocoated every single tube
Okay. So that means
because
you
you
dip
don't
it
want
in,
anything to interfere with the flow of energy. So I
so you dip it
nanocoated,
in
I put
caustic.
caustic,
Dip
I
it in
use
caustic.
caustic.
Okay.
I use caustic on the tubes. I leave it outside, and also I leave it outside. And as I said, I understand more the life of this world. It's not humans, but different kinds of entities. What I use, I nanocoated those structures. I put them outside under the sun. The place I live in Washington, we don't have too much sun. But if you have 3 hours of sun, that would be better. It will be okay.
Yes.
But I leave it for 2 or 3 weeks. Why?
Nice.
Sometimes you have sun. You don't have enough. You don't have to leave enough. What I do, I meditate outside, and I ask the entities outside and the environment, the forest, to help to
Beautiful.
bring their thoughts, their intention inside this unit, this structure, because this unit, this plasma unit, is helping to change the world, not just humans. I've
Yes.
seen the plants, I see the animals outside. I've seen, now you ask me about experiences, uh, but 2 months ago, a friend of mine came to me and says, can I bring my dog inside the units? Why? I just came back from the veterinarian, and it says my dog cannot walk. It has frozen hips.
Mm.
Frozen hip cannot move the hips. It's been 2 months that she hasn't been able to walk. And I brought it, it's just lying down in my car. And he asked me, can I brought it inside the unit? You don't have to just leave it in the car. So you don't want me to bring it here? just leave it in the car. I was saying, just leave it in the car. And we saw through the window, the dog is walking outside the window. She said 2 months, who was that dog outside? She was impressed. It was, wow, just leaving outside in the car. It's so strong, that feel outside of this house that affects, I see the plants. I see this dog effects. And not only that, people who come here, they have the pets and living in the car. Says, since I went to home, I came back to home, I visit you, my dogs don't behave the same. My pets are so different because they're affecting that energy field.
Wow, that is amazing. Do you have any other more units to show us?
Yes. Then I start, okay, after this, I built this about a month and a half ago. This is, what is this? So this one, put a line down, bed.
Right, nice.
So a lot of people says, oh, I have to do a line down health unit. I've seen a lot of people, I've seen from Mexico, especially people that use making the coils unit as a bed. In beautiful, Carlos, Raul, Juan, this a lot of people in Mexico, in Peru, I've seen they building units using the coils and as a for lying down unit. Beautiful. I'm not saying, oh, this is better. As I said, this is different.
Right.
But with this one, I use dynamic reactors, and if you see this one on the brain, it has the same three units for the single one. 3 units. You can use this one, the same element for the brain. You can use whatever you want, and on the bottom, so it's the same as this one. 3 of this one.
Right.
But also have on the top and the bottom. So you can change the dynamic reactors, the GANS of every single one to target every single organ.
Right.
Like this, my idea is to put GANS here of all the elements. Now this one has CO2, most of them is CO2, calcium, magnesium, potassium, most of them. And I keep adding different ones according to the responsible people, myself, family, laying down in that unit and see the response. I keep adding more elements inside.
Beautiful. Do you have some easy way to stick and unstick your balls?
Yes, it's easy. Let me show you this one. You use here, there's a screw, little screw. So you use L key, and you lose this 3, and then you pull it out.
Okay.
And on the top, use another L here. Thicker L tool.
The details of the technology.
Yes. So, and you unscrew this and put it through here.
Beautiful. So I love that you always have these connected with a Magrav unit. And I think that's something else that people forget, you know, because either they didn't finally make their Magrav or they got intimidated by making one, but it's really a beautiful addition to getting these units to work better.
And now also the teaching last Thursday, when he said, I give the knowledge of you making Magrav, and you stop with that. So you haven't done anything else. So
right.
Said the gravitational is the center, the magnetic is outside. Why cannot be the opposite? So it makes sense what he said last Thursday. He said, now instead of the gravitational in the center, put the gravitation outside. It makes sense. The way I see it, the way personally I see it is if we put a ball of GANS inside in the middle of the coil, so that if you use that gravitational, the gravitational receive the energy. You connected the electricity to the gravitational, which is now the outer. So it's starting to collect the energy from the outer to the center. And the center is now the magnetically, it will go out. But before it go out, the ball of GANS are inside in the middle. So you put all the energy inside that ball and you spread that energy fields outside. Next level. So you increase the energy of that electricity or plasma inside the center of the core and center of the coil, which has the sphere with GANS. So it attracts more energy, that sphere of GANS, and empower or increase that energy field of that balls.
Nice.
We,
When
we,
we originally were building the Magravs, we were using CH3, CuO, and CO2 in 3 different balls. But do you do them any differently with your health units, or
what
do
I
you?
do is I do here
It's
at the bottom. I use a mix of different GANs,
okay.
mix of different whatever I have.
Okay.
And I have these little balls. The balls that you use for this dynamic reactors, the empty ball, I put it inside. I fill it out with GANs, the mix of GANs in the bottom, CO2 in the middle, and CH3 on the top.
Okay. Cool.
And I fill it out those little balls with that GANs.
Okay.
Better than the pimple. Pimple
Nice.
here, because we have a very cold weather,
Hmm.
they break.
Okay. Right.
So
They're a
they don't
little
last long.
fragile. Yeah.
Yeah, very fresh. So now I'm using those little balls that I have with the dynamic reactor. So I put that one. So
Nice.
it's just
Any
use.
more? More. We.
Well, actually, this is a different one. This is the one
Mm,
a lot of people in the world I'm making. So as I said,
wow.
so different people are making different ones. And everyone are beautiful. They have
Yes.
the same effect. It's not, as I said, it's create the environment and then target the body.
Yes.
So whatever you build is perfect. It doesn't have to be beautiful, sophisticated, fancy, nothing. Do
Right.
whatever you have.
Well, it would be my hope and intention that a lot of people springboard off of this talk and this conversation, these ideas, and start putting their own units together where they are, even in the simplest way. I know when I taught in South Africa, Swaziland actually, as soon as I got there, Tracy Beeching Foss said, I want to build, this was 2 years ago, I want to build one of the ring units like Dr. Rodrigo did. And they got all the supplies and we put it together, and it's just exciting. So it's exciting to inspire each other around the world. And I think you are an amazing example of the brilliance and the life force that happens when we're surrounding ourselves with plasma energy and plasma energy tools.
Thank you. That's a bit of what everyone is making. So what we do is that create a loop of energy that affects the body.
Yes.
Either with this energy, we can bring energy to the body, or we can extract energy from the body. We can do anything we want, understanding the strength of the plasma.
Someday we'll have health centers like this around the world.
I know we will. We're happy to join them and give a little knowledge that I have about this, but we learning.
Yes.
That's what I see about this unit. I put this one because is we are a plasma unit. We have an energy field.
Yes.
Let me tell you something about the another thing about Klaus Dietrich, the one who sees energy. He asked me to take. I showed him different photos of my unit from the beginning to the end, and he said, "I can see that energy is your consciousness." How is that? Because I can see that energy, you energy in that machines. And I've seen how your consciousness has grown according to the evolution of your units.
Beautiful.
And I see energy. He said, if I didn't know you, I see you through this Zoom presentation. But if I didn't know you, you put yourself among 1,000 people and I see that unit, I would know who made this unit. It's unique.
Beautiful.
The energy field of every single person is like a fingerprint. It's unique. So if we are plasma units, that means, let me give an example. If you have an orange juice, glass of orange juice, and a glass of grape juice, everyone has its own taste, its own energy. It's a living. This is living things, the grapes and the orange. But once you mix it, it's no longer orange, it's no longer grape. It's a different energy. So when you build, you have your energy field, you have you're a plasma unit. When you build, if you said, yeah, you build, you put energy on the unit, is one, you put your intention, you put your love. That's why I leave that unit outside for 2-3 weeks, to allow the entities outside to put the intention in that unit. And their intention is also in that unit.
Beautiful.
My intention is in the unit, this is energy. So we blend this energy fields inside. the intention, the love to change something. And then we put GANS. That GANS has energy as well. So that GANS, that unit is yourself inside. If you want,
Beautiful.
you have intentions to change the world for good, that intention is inside the unit. And some people ask me, so if I buy one of those units, I'm not gonna have my own intention. Yes, once you understand, you can change that intention. If your intention is stronger, you will change it. If somebody build a unit in order to make money, it's a small unit, it's a small energy. If you have intentions to heal, to bring peace, to bring love to people, it's a stronger field, a stronger energy. Remember, in the plasma, the stronger field feeds the weakest. So if you're strong, if you have love, if you have intention of that, you have intention of heal, it's a stronger, very strong field. Whatever you have, you will embed that energy to that unit. So you will put the energy in that inside that unit. It will have the effect that you want.
Beautiful.
So that
Beautiful,
unit
beautiful.
is you
Yes.
who's using. So in the medical field, understand a little bit more about this energy. As a doctors, I remember the first year that when I had the introduction of medicine with the professors, he said, you as a doctor, you have that affects the psychology of people, that when they come to you with the pain, as soon as you're in front of you, they don't have pain. It's because they trust you. Okay, so I understood their way. That was the way they trust us. But now we understand that the stronger field feeds the weaker. So we as a healers, we have a strong field, a strong energy field full of love, intentions to heal people, to help people. When people come to us with pain, with a disease, they have a weaker field. Sorry, a weaker field. So when they interact with you, they embed it. You cover them, and that's why when are in front of you, they feel no pain.
Right.
It's not because psychological effect. It's because you give the energy. You cover your intention, cover them, and change it. You start changing, and some of them they heal instantly.
Yes.
Because the intention is so strong that you heal them. You change them.
Yes.
That strong is this. This is a different understanding how the energy field of us work on this environment. We are energy, plasma energy. That is the doctor. That is the healers. There's the energy, not just, oh, I'm going to prescribe something that is going to like. No, it's the intention that I put in the moment that I prescribe something and I give them to that person in front of me, that strong energy, and starting to feel the effect without buying those pills that I prescribe.
Right.
That's called them miracles, but now we understand more the miracles. It's not religion, it's actually science.
Yes, beautiful. You are the fire of human, you're a crucible of the fire of human truth, Dr. Rodrigo. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for communicating all this with the vitality and the vision that you have. It's really, really wonderful. Many people will benefit from this.
That's the goal, to change. That will help people to change a lot.
Yes.
Consciously and physically.
Yes. Okay, anything else to show us out of your magic box of tricks?
No, just in general, when people talk about their health, it's not only health units, but we have to understand a little bit how the patches and the rings works, how the food GANS and everything. As I said, the patches create a field. So we can create a patches. We made these patches and it's with single GANS, but now we mix it with different ones. We can add one single patch. I made rings with different GANS to create a different fields. I have good results. But as I said, we're learning. It's not always bad, always good. Why put a white strip and one and the other black? Because the here I myself, I put the black is stronger, the white weaker. It's not the racist. It's just the way it's to just mark them.
Right.
One stronger and one weaker. And put them, if I have a problems with, I use this kind of rings when I have problems with knee problems. So I put those rings on the sides of the knees and they start responding, have a better effect. If I put this person in front inside the unit, the effect is going to be stronger. It's a different collection. Remember all the people around, when you collect GANS, you also have to collect the amino acids. And it says, what is the amino acids? Yes, the amino acids is carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. So if I build CO2, it has everything. Why have to collect the amino acids of the rest? Because the amino acids of the CH3, the amino acids of the copper, even though it's the same carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, is a different strength. So you collect them to increase that energy of single GANs.
Nice.
So the patches, all this helps to remove tissue, to regenerate tissue, to protect the environment, and to attract elements. As a tumor, when we have tumors, we have different patches. We can use 3-to-1. Now we're using 20-to-1. Depending on how severe is the problem, the disease, the cancer. So we're using 3-to-1 or 20-to-1.
Interesting.
To create the different fields, to extract, as we said, plasma has a tendency to find balance. So if the tumor has a certain energy field, so we create the same energy, the same kind of energy, but stronger field on one side and weaker on the other one, that energy field of the center will diminish, will blend to this other energy fields.
So let me ask you again,
yes.
technically, if I want to make 3-to-1 GANs or 20-to-1 GANs, say I've got a nice bottle of CO2 GANs, I shake it up, I put some of that in my pad, but then if I want to make it, well, say I put 3 teaspoons in one pad and then I put 1 teaspoon in the other, or I dilute it, how do I make that percentage again?
Good questions, because a lot of people have that doubt.
It's been confusing.
So much for asking this question. Yes, you stir it. Yes, 3-to-1 is.
Let me grab a bottle of GANs. I'll come right back. So I've got a nice bottle. I've got nice bottles here of CO2 and zinc.
Yes. Okay. A week ago, someone asked me, I want to make a patch for pain. Oh, you use patches of zinc and CO2. Patches of CO2 and patches of CO2. So this person asked me, so if I had a patch, I had to use 2 drops of zinc and the other one, 1 drop of CO2? No. If you want to make a patch like this one, I soaked that tissue, I soaked them with that.
Okay.
If I'm going to do 3-to-1, I say, okay, 3-to-1 means I stir that CO2, stir it. Okay, perfect. So if 3-to-1, I'm going to use, if in this patch can collect 20 cc, you can put 20 cc because the size of the patch is very good. So you can put, in order to soak the whole patch inside, you need 20 cc's.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to dilute it. It's going to be 20-to-1. Let's see, 20-to-1. So we use 20 centimeters of that one you have on the one is mix it. I'm going to extract 20 centimeters. It's 20. Put them in the patch. And then the other one, 21, I will extract only 1 centimeter.
Okay, that is, and you might have a smaller piece of cloth or tissue in that.
No. Let's put it, this is the same.
Same size.
I put 21 in that one.
Okay.
So in the rest, because it can accept 20 millimeters. So I put 20 millimeters in one patch. And the other one, 1 milliliter, is not enough to soak the whole cloth.
Right, got it.
Plasma water.
Okay.
Just plasma water without GANs. So it's going to be 20-to-1.
Okay.
Perfecto. So I have 2 containers. One with plasma, or what I do is I extract the water plasma to put apart. Then the rest, I stir it. I take the 20 and then 1, and then the rest of the water from the plasma water clear to put the 20 milliliters, the same amount of liquid. But
okay. So you're going to put 20 milliliters of this mixture, and then out of the same GANs, before you do it, you'd have a separate bottle, and you'd put 1 millimeter of this and then 19 millimeters of the clear water in the weaker solution.
That is correct. That is 20-to-1. That is correct.
Thank you. That I have just not been able to figure that out. So thank you so much.
So that's what I do. As I said, rings for change something in the needs to use in different GANs, copper oxide, zinc, magnesium. Those are elements the knee needs in order to rebuild the cartilage of bones. Even you can add calcium if it's a structural problem. So even creates a different fields to diminish the pain in your back, on your vertebra. There's also, you have stones, you can create a field to shield the skin in order not to have those stones. Stones is, the kidney is a collection of emotional promises, something that you retain inside your body, anger, hatred, you
Right.
retain, and you create those stones. So you put the patches to create a chill, so you're not creating those stones in your kidney. So it helps to
A
rebuild,
shield.
to regenerate, to remove, to create a shield. Even
Nice.
patient people with arthritis. Arthritis is deposit of calcium on the joints.
Right.
But most of the people who have arthritis has osteoporosis. Wait a minute. There's a lot of a deposit of calcium, but there's a lack of a calcium in the bones. Yes. So instead, the calcium is going to the bones, going to the joints. So if you have to understand the calcium, what is the atomic mass of the calcium is 40 atomic mass. Remember, you can extract, you can put, you can move with different strength of GANS. The CO2 is at 42, the calcium is 40. So you're pulling the calcium out of the joints using rings, using bracelets. You're pulling the calcium out of the joints and take it back to the bones. So you're treating the osteoporosis, and also you're treating the deposits of calcium in the joints, and they're getting better, they're getting straighter, and the pain's disappearing.
So are you using just CO2, or are you using a calcium GANS also?
Just CO2.
Just CO2.
Just CO2 pulling the calcium out of the joints. It's understanding the energy fields, energy, the strength of every element. I recommend people I have my periodic table. I will show you after we stop sharing. The periodic table that I always carry. If I'm in the garage, if I'm in the office, always to understand the strength of every element. And it's different things that we have built for food. I create this little bowls with different GANs of food. So you create big energy of every single element inside the water or the pitcher.
Beautiful.
You put different, it's just ideas. And now we use this coils with GANs, and the coils using inside this was idea, was our man idea, not mine. So, but when somebody has an idea, you can do whatever you want. You cannot do anything if you don't start with something.
That's right.
So bring something to the table and then start change it.
Yes.
But this is a reason we bring something to the table so people can find change. It's not, oh, you did it that way, I'm going to do it that way. No, it's just an idea. Put an idea and you can do anything. Test it one way to another to have experiences and teach other people to do it. So if you have only just even patches, a patch of GANs with food and patch of CO2, put it behind in your back, the patch of GANs, food GANs, and in front of your stomach, patch of CO2, and you're feeding yourself. That's simple.
Beautiful.
Instead of eating, you wanted to send your kids to the school, and instead of using the lunch box, put a patch inside the sweater or the shirt.
Yes.
Create a pocket, put a GANS patch, and they're incredible with energy. This is, wow, those kids running all day without eating anything, actually they're eating better than anybody.
Very good.
So then, this is also interesting. It says, and this is what I love about when I talk to doctors. What is pain? Pain is when do damage to trauma, injury, tumor on the wound or and the skin. You compress or you damage your nerves. We don't have nerves under the skin that amount. I mean, we have so many skin, so many cells, but not every single cell has connected to this nerves to feel the pain. So how come we feel pain? Because we have an energy field is flowing, like circulating around your body, that flow of energy. When you have a trauma, an injury, a tumor, a wound, or a needle, interfere with that flow of energy. And that's what pain is.
Leakage of energy, I love that. And so there's an emotion connected with that also, right?
Yes, right. So if you put a patch of CO2, it's like you have
you're putting a patch over the leaky dam.
Exactly. And that's it. You allow to continue the flow energy and the pain disappear. It's still
Gorgeous.
swollen, it's still the injury, the wound, but how come we get rid of the pain? Because it's
Yes.
energy. It's just energy. We put energy, we'll increase that flow, we'll allow them to continue that flow of energy, and the pain disappears. That's simple as that. It's not
Beautiful.
magic, it's understanding science.
Hmm. Perfect.
Science is science. It's just, I'm not coming here to preach you just, oh, take it for granted. I explain this. I said, I'm going to explain everything so you will be able to understand
Hmm.
the body on this technology.
This
So
is
that's what we use
awesome.
the pen, allow the flow of energy goes through the body. So the pain disappears.
And it puts the energy back into the system. Beautiful.
Yes, you can use any kind of coil. This is coils that people around the world created. It doesn't have to be fancy or just different ones.
Hey, the pictures I've done with ice, I'm going to do an ice video pretty soon, but with just one copper pin with the top curled over, nano coated, you put it over the ice and it makes a big plasma ball. I mean, it
Yes,
doesn't have to be complicated.
yes, exactly. This is incredible. It's just beautiful, all this.
It is.
I
Anyone
built
can
this
do
for
it
coils.
anywhere. There you go.
I made this for coils. Also, I made it through, I mean, after Mr. Keshe teaching how to use coils. So I used this. In this one, it was the first one who started building this pens. Not even was me. It was a friend of mine who lives here in the community. He is the one who started making this field, he and his wife. And he taught me how to do this. So we
Nice.
started, but now then we started to understand how to use it, not just put pen, not a pen or just put a GANS. Now I mix different kind of GANS. I remember the guy who taught me this, Wayne. You know Wayne.
Yes.
Well, he told me it was the first one. I
Yep.
learned from him to build it, so I tried to build. But then I learned a little bit more and start using different kinds of GANS. I can use these pens for pain, for inflammation, to removing tissue, or to regenerate tissue. I can do whatever I want. If I don't have a health unit, I can use this. I can do whatever I want with this.
Yes.
Playing with this coil, with this flow of energy, you can do whatever you want. So this is a beauty. Somebody
And
comes.
so you have the health pen inside a tube of GANS, so to speak. Is that part of the idea?
So you put the GANS in either on the gravitational coils or magnetic coils, depending on what you want. You want to
Right.
extract, you want to give.
Okay. Oh, so you coat the coils with the GANS.
You call no, just you have to do it. Just put the GANS in the tip of those coils.
On the tip. Okay.
In the tip, you don't have to embed the whole coils.
Right.
And you can play with this technology. You can play whatever you want.
Right.
If somebody put something on the table, you can do whatever you want with those.
Yes. Beautiful. Experiment. Be creative. Go humanity.
Oh, well, we'll talk about stress emotions already. So
Yes.
this is it. So plasma use. One thing, when you use the GANS, and a lot of people hearing that somebody is drinking CO2 plasma water or Z
Right.
water or CS3. When you have these containers, do not drink, eat anything of these GANS, just the
Yes.
water, just the water. Do not drink these GANS. A lot of people start drinking and have problems.
Mhm.
Don't drink this. It's so much energy that your body inside cannot handle that energy inside your body. It's too much, too strong.
Yes.
So use the water only.
And how do you think the water only compares with the potentized water, where if you just take a container, a pad or a vial of GANS and put it next to your drinking water, do you think that's as much carrying the field as drinking
Yes,
this
you can.
water?
Those patches that I found in the first, you put it on the sides of the water or the pitcher. Just
Right.
it energize that water. You drink the regular water, the one you drink from the tap, from the water bottles that
Right.
you buy. Put the patches, so you see the difference.
Yes.
Say, oh, it feels better and feels good. And also it says using distilled water. Why distilled water, not regular water? Because we want to use only the energy of that field of carbon and oxygen instead when using CO2. So we don't want any other metal. If you use any water, it might have a lot of calcium, a lot of iron, some other elements, some other metals. You don't want
Right.
to put it inside. Just that's why distilled water doesn't have any metals, nothing. You put it there, You energize with this water inside. With the GANS, you energize the water, you drink the water.
Right. Cool.
I think this is it, the beautiful, this technology.
Okay. You can just stop your screen sharing a minute and we'll see each other's
Yes.
faces and say goodbye. Say adios for now.
And hello. I'll recommend to everybody who start working with the plasma to have these
Periodic table.
periodic table. I always
You
carry
can look
this.
them up online. They're all over the place.
Yes, it's easy. Just print it and have it. You will
don't
become more
you don't have
familiar.
to be a biochemist. You get more familiar as you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is science.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Dr. Rodrigo, you are a radiant, bright light of human brilliance, cultivated by your choice of soul path. And thank you for gifting us with these couple of hours with you. I know it's a period of time, but there's so much valuable information in here. I think anybody who wants to utilize plasma for healing can find tons of guidance in here. So thank you so much for sharing your experience that I know comes from you, from Mr. Keshe, from all of the doctors working together in the medical teachings, from people around the world that are inventing and creating.
Thank you so much, Cary, for you to spread that information. Thank you. You are a light for humanity. Thank you. You're so beautiful.
My honor.
Thank you. And I know Mr. Keshe is very grateful with you to spreading that information to the world. Not only this, there's a lot of information you're spreading all over the world. You're an angel. Thank you so much, Cary.
Love to you, love to your family, love to the whole team there where you are. And I just want to remind everybody, breathe, smile, and love, because as we change ourselves, we change the world.
Indeed. Thank you.
Okay, ciao, adios.
Century Superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see it when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. Here now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one, and we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun. But if you're feeling kinda down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are, oh now child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. I am the 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. kinda down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are. Whoa, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. I am 21st century superhuman. Now, now, now is the time. I am a 21st century superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. I am a 21st century superhuman. Now, now, now is the time. Now, now, now is the time. Now, now, now is the time. Now, now, now is the time.